Hey, what's up YouTube? Down the Smartphone Guy coming back at you with another video, and tonight I'm ready to share with you my full review of this watch right here. This is the Amazfit Bip, also known as the Amazfit Lite. So this is a kind of follow-up to one of my favorite GPS running watches of 2016 actually. It's the Amazfit Pace, and this is the Amazfit Lite. The Amazfit Lite actually takes away some of the things you get with the Amazfit Pace, but gives it to you at a much more budget-friendly price, although the Amazfit Pace is also very budget-friendly. So with that being said, let me go ahead and say that this watch right now is available for $50 at gearbest.com. I'll leave links down in the description if you're interested in picking this up. But also, with that being said, thanks to my sponsor, gearbest.com, right here, you can actually win two of these right now. The link's down in the description for the giveaway. It ends on December 3rd, so you only have a couple days to enter at this point. But with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about what all this watch has to offer. That I have the Chinese version of the watch. So the Chinese version only has Chinese and English built into it, whereas if you get the international version that's linked down below, it's available in multiple languages. So definitely want to check and make sure it's available in your language, but that's the international version that's linked down below for $50. So let's go ahead and take a look at the watch. So you can see we have some silicone watch bands here, and what's nice about them is that they are quick release, so you can easily replace them with a 20mm replacement band. On the back we have a plastic back, and then those little pins there are going to be for the charging dock, and that's how you're going to charge it. On the other end we have a USB, so you can plug it into a computer or your charging brick for your phone. Either way works. This button right here is our single button. We have back and home. It acts as both of those, and then we have another plastic bezel around it, so very plasticky watch, but it is super light, and so far I haven't had any issues with it being damaged at all. So like I said, I've had it for about I think 3 weeks now. I think I got it on November 18th and it's December 1st, so a little bit less than 3 weeks actually. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about what all this thing has to offer on the actual watch. So you can see here that if we scroll up from the watch face, basically we just have a connection, we have our battery life, and then do not disturb. And if we scroll down, we have our notifications. Now, the notifications on here are very basic. Basically, you're just going to get a readout of what the notification is. It's going to tell you that it's Gmail or Facebook or whatever. And you can choose to not have those. You can choose to put whatever you want on there for notifications or not have. So you can put everything there, or you can basically say nothing. So that's nice. And then if we scroll over to the right, this is basically all the things that we have available, and we'll kind of scroll through these just real quick. But let's go ahead and talk about activities. So the activities that it can track are outdoor running, treadmill, cycling, and walking. So obviously the only one not using the GPS is the treadmill. And real quick, let me just talk about the GPS. This thing connects very quickly to GPS. So you're looking at about typically for me about 10 to 30 seconds. Now with me being indoors at the moment, it's not going to connect nearly as quickly, but typically about 10 to 30 seconds is what it takes, which is actually pretty good, because if you've ever had a GPS watch, you know that sometimes they can take upwards of like 2 to 3 minutes sometimes. It gets quite annoying actually. So anyways, this one connects very quickly, which is a huge thumbs up. And then over here, once we keep going, we can see our activity history, and that's something I want to point out real quick. So I went on a run tonight just to kind of do a little bit more testing with it. So 4.19 mile run, and you can just see some of the metrics there. So that is that run that I went on. But let me just show you what that looks like on the phone now. So here's the phone, and so you can see that same run, 4.19 miles. And so some of the metrics here, same thing that we had there, and you have some heart rate zones. Then if we come up here, we can see our pace, so it's just going to go through some of the paces there. Let me turn my screen brightness up just a little bit, because I've got a little bit of a glare from my lights there. Alright, so there we go. And then one more thing is the chart, so you can see just kind of like your pacing, your heart rate, and then the altitude through the run. So that's what it's going to show you in the app. We'll look at some more things on the app in just a little bit. But yeah, so that is the activity. So let's scroll over. So activity, then we have the weather. Basically, it's just going to show you the temperature at the moment, and that's going to be, of course, assuming that you're connected to your phone. We have an alarm. Basically, that's just going to vibrate on the watch, but you have to set it up on the phone. You can't actually set up the alarms on the watch itself. We have a timer. Oops, I actually accidentally clicked into that. Let's go back in here. So alarm, then we have the timer, we have compass. Oh, by the way, the timer has both a countdown and a stopwatch, so that's nice. We have a compass, and then we have settings. So settings basically just allow us to set the watch face, so you can adjust the watch face here. That's one of the options you have there. We can long press the button, and it's going to decide what we're going to do if we long press the button, so you can kind of customize that with what it does. And then we can adjust the brightness. That's pretty much it with the settings. So real basic smartwatch, because really this is designed specifically for runners. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the app now. So again, the app is called MeFit, and it works with both iOS and Android, same as the watch. So we can have our sleep data. So if I go down here into history, you can see that, I've tracked a few of them here, but 4 hours of sleep, so yeah, I don't sleep enough. And then it breaks it down into deep sleep and light sleep there. Then we can see, of course, that last activity again, which I already showed you. We see our heart rate, so that was apparently the last heart rate tracking that I did. Now, if you want heart rate, this is something I want to mention. When you're running, it's going to give you the heart rate. But other than that, the only other way to get the heart rate is to be on this screen, and it's going to turn the heart rate on when you go to that. But that is the only other way. It's not a continuous heart rate like you get on like the Amazfit Pace. So this one is actually continuously checking your heart rate, whereas this one is not. That is not an option on the Amazfit Bip. All right, so then you can see you can track your weight. Again, the heart rate is old because I haven't tracked the heart rate in a while. And you can have some goals that you set up. So I just have it set to, I believe, 10,000 steps per day. So here's a profile. We can go in here and you can see we can click in on the watch. So this is where you're actually going to set the alarms, app alerts, so you can decide which apps you want to show notifications. So those are the ones that I picked. But again, you can pick and choose which ones you want, which ones you don't want here. We do have the option to find the watch and decide whether it's discoverable, and then where you're going to have it. I actually have it on the left hand, so I should change that because for a while I was wearing it with another watch at the same time. So anyways, and then we can see here, we can go into weather settings. It's just going to track the weather again. It's basically just going to show you the temperature, and that's it with that. So just a quick look at some of the options you have available here in the app. Overall, the app is pretty good. It works very well. Mainly going to use it for tracking. Oh, one other thing I should mention is also the fact that this is compatible with Google Fit, so but not any of the other apps. So if I go in here to Google Fit, it's actually going to show you the same thing that the watch shows you, which is that I've run or walked 76 steps. So you can see there. And if I go back into yesterday, it's going to show you that activity that I did as well. So let's see here, yesterday. And here it is. See, so it's tracking all from the MeFit. There you can see. All right, so that is the app. One other thing I want to mention before we get too far, and that is the accuracy of the GPS. So I kind of already touched on that just a little bit, but I wanted to mention that here's that same exact run. So I wanted to kind of just double check because, typically phones are much more accurate when it comes to GPS oftentimes than GPS running watches. It's just more accurate because they're using more GPS services in order to get that. And so this is that same run that was 4.19 miles on the watch. You can see on my phone, which I did not have connected to the watch. So I rang separately with the watch and with the phone, and 4.2 miles. So within 1/100th of a mile. So that is a huge testament to the GPS signal on this watch. So the other thing I want to mention, and this is the last thing we're going to talk about, is the battery life. So they claim 45 days of battery life potentially, and the battery life is absolutely fantastic. So in the, I think it's like 20 days that I've had the watch or so, I have literally not charged this watch once. That's going from 71% down to now 24%, so not quite 50% battery life in that 20 or so days that I've had the watch. So that is incredible. Like I mentioned, I've probably tracked about 5 activities with GPS so far with this watch in that time. And so in a GPS run, so like let's say I go on a 4 or 5 mile run, so about half an hour or so, maybe just a little bit more than half an hour. it goes down about 4% in that time. So that is a huge testament to the battery life. So if you're looking for one with just incredible battery life, accurate GPS, I would say the Amazfit Bip or the Amazfit Lite is definitely a watch worth considering. If you want a few more watch features, smartwatch features, but you want a great another great GPS running watch, the Amazfit Pace is also a fantastic GPS running watch. I'll leave links down in the description for both of them, and also for the giveaway for 2 of the Amazfit Lites as well. So with that being said, hopefully I've answered a lot of your questions. If you have any other questions, go ahead and leave them down in the comment section, but I will see you all in the next video. Peace.